going to put this on mute.
Welcome, folks. A lot of you are joining us today. We have a wonderful selection of mentors here for you to talk to today, and a wonderful presenter who is one of our own certified mentors. And this is the SCORE New Jersey Circle of Women Mentors Call that we have every other Thursday. So welcome, everybody. If there's any information, or you can introduce yourself in the chat room so that people can know who's here and on the call. This is a new thing that we're doing this year. So if you want to put your name, your business, and your email, feel free to do that in the chat room to introduce yourself so the other people on this call know who's on the call and can interact with you if they want to, or if you want to. Hi, Jill. Thanks for joining us today. We have over 100 people registered, so I'm curious to see how many people will get on the call. Hi, Susan. Welcome. And put your email address if you want, if you're open to having people contact you. Feel free to do that in the chat room.
Here's Marcia.
And then if you, we have another mentor joining us, Marcia. Welcome, Marcia.
Hi.
Hi, Alicia. Thanks for joining us. Marcia, if you could just put your email address in the screen for us. You just rename the screen, that would be great. Patricia Savanta.
I don't know how to do that.
Right. Okay. Good morning, everyone. We'll wait a few moments to make sure everybody is getting on the call. And let me look at the chat room here. Thank you, everybody, for putting your information in and telling us who you are. Kathy, Simone, Dawn. Thank you all for joining us. It's a very interesting piece of information that Joan is going to talk about what her background is, and then the information available through the New Jersey State Library System that's available for free. There's free resources. But there are fabulous, resources available through SCORE that if you work with a mentor from any of the SCORE chapters, and feel free to reach out to any of the mentors that are on the call today. You don't have to necessarily reach out to a mentor that's in your local area anymore because everything's virtual. And good morning, everyone. We have 35 folks on the call so far. Thank you for joining us. This is the SCORE New Jersey Circle of Women Mentors call that we have every other Thursday morning. And we have one today, and the next one is, I believe, March 11th, where we're going to have the NJEDA ladies present to us all about grants and funding and programs and loans that are available through the EDA organization. And they're having a phase 2 of something. I don't know. Let me just check to see if this is somebody trying to call to get in. Good morning. No, sorry, it's not. I thought it was somebody from the call. So thank you, ladies. We have 40 people now so far on the call. It's 3 minutes after 10. We'll wait about a half a minute more, and then we'll start our presentation. We have mentors on the call from various chapters around the state, and please feel free to have questions for them, have questions for our speaker, ask them about your business, or reach out to them personally. Most of them have their email address in their little video box, myself included. And if you would like a copy of the presentation, we're happy to send it to you. Ask one of the mentors or ask myself to send it to you after this call. And introduce yourself in the chat room. We use the chat room, not the Q&A for the most part for these calls. And I think I'm going to start the presentation and share my screen, and we'll just talk a little bit about SCORE New Jersey and who we are. Okay, so good morning, everyone. This is the SCORE New Jersey Circle of Women Mentors call. This is a webinar hosted by a panel of SCORE New Jersey women mentors from around the state that offer advice, support, and direction to women business owners in New Jersey, and really to everyone. Doesn't have to always be for women. It could be for any business owner. And there are 7 different chapters around the state. And we have representatives from a couple of them on the call with us today. So let me see how I'm going to my next. Okay, on the call today I am Suzanne Stingo. My business, I'm a small women business owner. My company is SMS Social Media Strategies. I teach people how to use social media, and I do social media for small business owners. I am also the moderator of the Circle of Women Mentors call, and I actually work with all of the chapters in New Jersey of SCORE and do marketing support for them. So the mentors on the call today is Jane Meyer, who is the chair of the Central Jersey chapter, Marsha Glattman, who is also with the Central Jersey chapter, Janet Pickover, who's from the Princeton chapter, Michelle, who has not gotten on the call. Jane Jacobson, I don't have you listed here. I'm so sorry. Jane Jacobson, who's from the Northeast chapter, and then our speaker, Joan DeVore, who is also a certified SCORE mentor from the Princeton chapter. So SCORE offers free business mentoring from experienced business leaders and business owners. If you are a subject matter expert, or if you're at the stage in your career or life where you have time to give back to the community, SCORE is a nonprofit organization that welcomes your expertise and is always looking for volunteers to be an admin person, to help in the background, or also to be a mentor for any of our chapters around the state. So reach out to myself or any of the mentors that are on the call today if you're available to be a volunteer, would like to get involved more in the SCORE organization. So typically I offer a quote of the day, and let me see if I can get my screen to go. The only difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little bit extra. We have new Facebook and LinkedIn groups that we ask all of you to join, because we will be promoting and announcing all of our statewide webinars, including some of the webinars from the different chapters. And they are open to everyone, not just women, but everyone from around the state or even outside the state, really. The groups are under the name SCORE NJ, and they're on Facebook and they're on LinkedIn. And you can go there, ask questions about the webinars, ask questions about the different chapters. So we welcome you to join those 2 groups. They're just recently formed. So SCORE is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping small businesses get off the ground, grow and achieve their goals through education and mentorship. We have resources, we have free mentoring, and for the most part, everything is free. When we did in-person meetings, sometimes they, charged a couple of dollars. Most of them usually were done at the libraries, but now everything is virtual, and for the most part, all of the webinars are free. There's a tremendous schedule of webinars that we have. The chapters do their own webinars, and now we are doing 2 circle calls that are geared really towards women business owners twice a month on Thursday mornings, every other Thursday. And now we are also doing 2 statewide webinars that we are promoting on a statewide basis. But no matter where you are in the state, you're free to join any of the webinars that are given from SCORE on a national or chapter level or statewide basis. Here are some links to resources that are on the SCORE website. And let's see, all of our mentors are volunteers. Nobody gets paid, and all the mentoring is free, and it's done by email or video or FaceTime or Skype or Zoom. And I talked about the 7 chapters hold events and workshops. So for more information, you can go to score.org, and to find a mentor, go to score.org/find-mentor. And each of the chapters have their own website. They're all listed here. You can like and follow them. They all have pages on Facebook and LinkedIn, and a lot of them have YouTube pages, and some of them record the webinars that they do so that you can go back and look at them. But we recommend that you actually go to the webinar and actually participate in it, because you do have the opportunity to ask questions from the presenters and from the mentors that are on the call. And like I said, please join our group. And our next circle call will be on March 11th, which is a Thursday, and I think it's going to be on 10 o'clock again. And I think that's it for me. And what I'd like to do is go around the room and introduce all of our wonderful mentors. And Jane, you're the first one on my list. So Jane Meyer, the chair of the Central Jersey chapter, why don't you introduce yourself and give us a little bit about your background, so that the folks on the call know something about the expertise that you have to share with them if they, work with you as a mentor.
Yeah, hi, welcome everybody. And so it's great to see so many people here for this great webinar. Jane Meyer, I've been with SCORE for about 6 or 7 years. Really enjoy mentoring small businesses. My background is I have some corporate, some nonprofit, as well as woman-owned small business. I ended my career working with a woman-owned small business. So I have a soft spot in my heart for woman-owned small businesses, and really enjoy working with the women. My expertise is more along the lines of getting started, helping businesses think about their strategy and their business plans and their business strategy. I have some expertise in government contracting. If you're interested in that, reach out to me, and marketing. So we look forward to seeing you as a mentee.
Great, thanks, Jane. And Joan, we'll come back to you because you're going to be our speaker. Janet, who is from our
good morning.
chapter.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Janet Pickover. I am coming up to, and I can't believe this, 12 years this June of SCORE. I started volunteering at SCORE even when I was still fully fledged in business. I wanted to start giving back. I ran JR Associates for over 30 years. It was a meeting management production company. My clients were corporations, Fortune 500s, even Fortune 100s, and many associations, both national, state, and local. We produced their major meetings, both conventions and also small meetings, down to 9 people to 2,000 people. Recently, I started a new company because I may be doing some producing of something else, and that might be a movie. So more to come on that one.
Wow.
To working with everybody here today. It's always a joy to come back here. And I guess my expertise, I really try to help startups, mostly startups, and getting them on the right road with marketing ideas and how do you get started in a business, since I ran one for all those years. I do have a workshop coming up on March 23rd in Princeton, and that's how to run a home-based business, because that's what I did for 30 years. It was out of my...
And Janet has given that presentation to our circle calls. You might have her back again later in the year to give another presentation. She has a wealth of knowledge to share with everyone. And just so you know, you go into SCORE, you find a mentor, and not every mentor has expertise in every single area, right, but they actually will bring in other mentors and other subject matter experts to help you along the way. So you really get a team approach when you come into SCORE and ask for help. So Marcia, tell us a little bit about yourself. And Marcia's from the Central Jersey chapter.
Hi, sorry, I see I'm so very dark on the screen.
That's okay.
Hi, I'm Marcia Glattman. I've been a member of SCORE for approximately 9 years, and I really love it. My background is 37 years in executive search. So I owned an executive search firm that specialized in placing human resource executives at Fortune 1000 corporations. My areas of expertise is human resources and also entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcia. And our famous Jane with a Y, Jacobson, who is from our Northeast chapter. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today, Jane.
Hi, I'm Jane Jacobson, and I guess I'm the Dowager Empress from the ground. I ran my own business, a marketing communications business, for quite a while, and decided I would like to stop and share my expertise with other women, and of course, who needed help getting started or growing their businesses. And my expertise is marketing. And I, having grown up in the traditional marketing styles, I have not thrown them all out the window because some of them are still applicable. However, I am really very well aware of all the new marketing techniques, believe it or not. And I think they're marvelous. And I think it's great to start out and know exactly what your market is and how you can increase it. So I'd be glad to work with you, whether you're a startup or in business and want to grow. And I noticed somebody just put something on the chat room about not being able to hear. And I wanted you all to know that I got something in the mail this morning that said that Zoom is now going to be allowing captioning on its sites very,
Ah.
very soon. And being a hearing impaired person myself, this is very important. Also, I want to say that I'm very excited about what's going on with SCORE now. We started out with about 20 people when I first went to SCORE. Our chapter is up to about 70, and a great number are women because, believe it or not, the majority of small business owners in this country
Are
are
women.
women. So
Yes.
don't forget that.
Yeah. And Jane, we can, Jane with a Y, the woman that told us she couldn't hear, she can hear us now. And thank you, all of you, for joining us today. And I want to introduce Joan, who has a fabulous, very complete presentation. And Joan, I think we'll wait till the end of your presentation for people to ask questions. Is that how you want to do it?
Well, yes, except I do have that one poll, which is a poll, not a question thing, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And then, and so after our presentation, anybody that has a question that's in the chat room, I'll go through the questions, ask them to Joan or any of the other mentors. So if you have a question for the mentors, there was one lady that asked in the Q&A something about starting a business in Puerto Rico. Can someone help her? And I know that we can. I don't know which one of you ladies, might want to take that on and work with this person, but that was in the Q&A section. So Joan, who is a certified mentor for SCORE, please take it away.
Okay. Well, I'll give a really quick intro to me. I'm pretty much a subject matter expert in research for SCORE and a trained mentor. So I was the business librarian for about 15 years at the Burlington County Library System, and through that helped hundreds of startups and business owners with developing research for their plans and other tools and resources and connecting them to the assistance that they need. Before that, I was in the corporate world in market research and competitive intelligence. And I can relate to what Jane said about the old ways. When I was in the corporate world, it was like nothing to spend $100,000 on a market research study. That doesn't happen anymore. I was in a large company. So I'm very interested in how small businesses can do the research they need to develop stronger business plans. And that's, and in the library, you learn about that. And that's the lean type of research is what I'm most focused on. And in fact, I've trained business owners on lean startup models. I've had training in that, and I've created curricula on lean startup and business model canvas and value proposition design. And I'm also a trained mastermind facilitator. So, with that, I guess I will share my screen and start. So today's presentation, oh, good. It didn't take me less than like 10 seconds to do that. I love that.
Okay.
Today, we're going to be talking about.
Joan, let me just tell everybody that if you want to see the full screen of the presentation, in the upper right-hand corner where you're seeing the videos of everyone that's on the call, you can actually make that smaller so it's not impacting what you see on your screen. There's a little gray line, and then there's two lines, and then there's a bigger blue box. If you hit the little gray line, and you can actually reduce the video so that you're just seeing what's on the screen. Sorry, Joan.
Oh, that's fine. I was just thinking when you were talking before about how everybody in SCORE is a volunteer and you get quality mentoring at no charge, and reference solutions, which that should really be underlined because that's the name of the resource that we're going to be talking today, is a powerful research tool that I'm going to be orienting you to today, a powerful research tool for starting, managing, and growing your business. And I'll track back to that at the next slide to what I just said, but ideas, plans, and strategies and tactics for your business need to be grounded in knowledge. Market research provides insight into your target customers, how many there are, and how to reach them and sell them. Competitive research gives you an understanding of the companies that you're up against in reaching those customers so that you can assess your own competitive advantages and opportunities. And Reference Solutions is a tool that is available to you, and it's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's available to you for free through your library. And I'm going to have that link coming up on a slide soon. And so as by way, and I think, can you do the poll, Suzanne? This is a little fun poll just to sort of ask you, have you ever sought to?
Joan, I am sorry, I didn't get to put the poll in the Zoom.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry I didn't do that, but we can ask the ladies and
Yes.
ask them maybe to answer in the chat room.
Yeah, basically, I wanted to sort of just get people to think to themselves of how they, oh, I can't see the chat from here, of how, in building your business, in starting a business, do you need to know where your customers are? If it's business to business, do you need to know things about them like ethnicity, age, income, geographic location? Where are the high income people for my financial planning business, for example? Or in a business to business situation, are you selling to businesses in a certain industry? Do you need to identify where they are at a certain size in a certain location? Use them to create lead lists and gather contacts. So I guess what I'm trying to do is sort of see or identify who you're competing against. Does any of that ring a bell to you guys? And I can't see the chat, but I'm doing this.
So far, nobody's answering.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, all of it.
All of it. Okay, I can see it now. I figured out how to look at it. Okay, well, anyway, the point is, if so, you need to know what Reference Solutions is. A Reference Solutions is a tool and that you should be exploring, even if you don't think you need it right now, because it's extremely powerful. If you had to, Reference Solutions is a suite of directories, but it also provides data visualization capabilities from those names and addresses to give you a sort of a more bird's eye view of your market, more strategic view. If you had to purchase this information, it would cost you a lot of money. Your tax dollars are at work in New Jersey because you can get at this information at no charge. This is the home screen. I think I needed to have this. This is what I wanted to be first. This is the website, jerseyclicks.org. This is the site from the New Jersey State Library that you go to where you can see all of the online tools. So in other words, available remotely from your home, all the online tools that you can access through the New Jersey State Library and also through your local library. But either way, this is a site that will work for everybody. It's your tax dollars at work. We do pay taxes in New Jersey, don't we? So we might as well take advantage of it. Hold on.
Do you need to join the library, Joan? Do you need to be a member or have a library card?
In general, yes. However, for Reference USA, if you have your computer set up for geolocation, it's not going to ask you for a library card number. So for some of there's other business databases that are available through the New Jersey State Library. And when you go to click on them, a little box will open up and ask for your library card. For Reference USA, you actually don't because of Reference Solutions. You actually don't because Reference Solutions has incorporated geolocation into their login so that if you have that enabled on your computer, it can tell that you're in Jersey and you get right through.
Great.
So here's the home screen for Reference Solutions. If I call it Reference USA by accident, forgive me, because that's what it used to be called for many years. These, as I said, are a suite of directories: business to business, business to consumer. And the business to consumers has a lot of, it's not just directory listings like names and addresses. It has lifestyle information and demographic information. Same thing for the US businesses, and we will see that. And I noticed that some people in the chat were in a healthcare field. If somebody of you are looking to target healthcare providers by specialty or by location, there is a healthcare database. So let's go right ahead and talk about what this is going to do for you. Reference Solutions is, you can search it and pull out and customize your research to focus on your target customers or your target industries. There's tons of variables to choose from. As I said, it's freely available through jerseyclicks.org. And as I alluded to earlier, tactical information, meaning names and addresses and listings, and for business to business, a detailed company profile. That's good for business to business or good for looking at your competition. But there's also data visualization capabilities that fold that up into a higher level, which we'll see, that can help in maps and tables and graphs. So today we're going to talk about how to size and locate your target markets, develop contact lists, and identify and characterize your competition using this tool, Reference Solutions. I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble keeping my arrows in view on my screen here.
So Joan, let me ask, you keep going back to jerseyclicks.org.
No, that's because I messed up my arrows. Okay, I just have to keep my.
Is that the website that you go to, or do you go
Yes.
to reference.org or the library?
Yeah, I show it at the end again too, but jerseyclicks.org is a website of the New Jersey State Library. And all of the online tools like Reference USA that are purchased at a consortial level for statewide use for all libraries are at jerseyclicks.org. Some individual library systems may be subscribing to other tools online, and that may be only available through their website, but jerseyclicks.org is all statewide access through, volume purchasing. The state library saves money by purchasing these key databases. It would cost more for each individual library to get their own subscription. So did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so let's try an example. Here's sizing a market. Let's say you're a virtual assistant and you want to target, and you've got legal expertise. You want to target lawyers in Delaware, small law firms with 1 to 4 employees. You go into Reference USA's US business database. You can go into the keyword business type variable and select attorneys, and city and state. You can go and select Delaware. So, and further, at the bottom of your screen, you can see where I've selected by company size, companies with 1 to 4 employees. So again, you can customize your parameters, and then you just click search and you get a record count. And from there, you get a listing. These listings have the name of the company, the name of an executive, address and phone number. There's much more than that in here, though. If you click on one of those names, you will get more detail. And even if you're identifying customers and wanting to create files on them, you can get downloadable PDFs of the profile of that company. For example, the first term says executive name Richard Abbott. Once you get into the profile, it'll tell you what that gentleman's title is and may give you some other names as well. Contact names are good. So here's another situation. Let's say business to consumer. Let's say that you are selling, you're trying to locate a market. You are bringing in stylish apparel for the Indian community, for women in New Jersey, and you want to find them. So here's the US Consumers and Lifestyles file within Reference Solutions. I choose New Jersey. And I choose ethnicity, South Asian. I'm not sure if it shows on the screen. And I choose under lifestyles, find me people who are into stylish women's apparel, whose ethnicity is South Asian and who are in New Jersey.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing. Once I've gotten into ethnicity, because that is sort of a privacy type of topic, you can no longer get the names and addresses individually. What you do get is, oh yeah, here's South Asian. What you do get is the ability to make a chart. So those, let me go back for a second and make sure I told you that clearly. I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble with my computer here. There we go. The consumer snapshot field, which has things like ethnicity, once you start going into those variables, you'll be getting the strategic information, but not the names and addresses. But you can still get to where you know what you want to get in terms of names and addresses. So let's go back again to where we were. Here's a chart. What I'm saying now is tell me where these people are by 3-digit zip code in New Jersey. And here's the chart. And what the chart is indicating, for example, is that this population is heavily concentrated in this 087, 088, 089, or mainly 088 zip code. Okay, so I can go back and narrow it further. Now I'm narrowing it further geographically and asking for the same thing within these 3 zip codes because I want to get to the 5-digit zip codes. And within those 5-digit zip codes, it's showing me where's my market. The zip codes where there's a higher number is more likely, is more people, more households that have South Asian women who are interested in high fashion. So from there, you can start honing in on individual zip codes. And from there, you can identify perhaps, we had a similar question like this and people were talking about going to Indian temples to connect with people. If you're looking at it and going, getting on the ground, well, from here, if you're not familiar with the area, now at least you know where to get on the ground. So here's another example. And now let's talk to business to consumer. Let's say you have a knitting and crocheting shop or classes, and you've got a shop and you want to find out where are the folks within 2 miles from your shop that are into knitting and crocheting. Now we're talking about consumer lifestyle information. Again, this goes way beyond what's in the telephone directories. So I know that in Mount Holly, there is a wool shop on 90 High Street. So I use that as an example. Where are the people within 2 miles of my wool shop that are interested in knitting and crocheting? I want to do a mailing. So here's the consumer lifestyle. I checked crochet and knit, and I come up with a list of people. So that's looking at a 2-mile radius from my shop where there's hundreds of households. This gives me a more targeted list for the people that are more likely to be interested in what I have to market. Okay, now, reference solutions, so far we've been talking about reaching consumers, reaching your markets. You know, it's important to also understand your competition. And by the way, all of the examples I'm using are disguised examples of very similar questions that we've had at SCORE over the last several months. Changed a little bit. So I'm a local trucking company. I want to service 3 counties in South Jersey, Cape May, Cumberland, and Salem County. Who's my competition? Okay. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my little thingy again. Oy. I'm sorry, give me a second here. I can't get the cursor to do the right thing. Or the arrows. Come on. I'm sorry.
The up and down arrows,
They're not working, and
They're
neither
not
is
working?
my little cursor to get to the arrows on the corner.
do you have a mouse?
No.
Okay.
I don't know why this is happening. It doesn't usually, of course, naturally when you're presenting, that's when it happened.
Of course.
Hold on, I'll have it in a second. Shoot. Why? Hold on.
Do you have, oh, someone's just suggested, do you have a touch screen?
No.
Okay.
Oh God, come on.
Somebody said try the escape key.
I did. Yeah. Oh, come on. This is ridiculous. This
So
doesn't.
maybe unshare your screen and go back in and share
Yeah,
again.
that's a good idea. Let's do that. But now I
then
can't even. I can't. My cursor disappeared.
Oh,
Come on. Shoot.
Suzanne, can you
Yep.
make it stop share?
let me see if I can do that. Share screen. Let me,
Hold on. I got my cursor back.
Joan, I'm good. You want me to try?
I got it. Oh, okay. Now I got my cursor back. So let me go back to share screen. I don't know why that happened. I have no clue.
If you're in a full presentation mode, maybe
Yeah.
leave it in this screen here, like you have it, and it may
I
be
could do that,
that way.
but no, now it's not moving again. Hold on.
I see your
Okay.
cursor moving around.
Hold on. New share. All right, well, here I am in my, all right, well, I'm in my other form. I'm in my non-PowerPoint form. So let me see if I can make that work better. Can you see me? Can you see my PowerPoint now?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay, so let me get back to where I was. I don't really know why that happened. Okay. All right, let's see if this works better. All right, I think it was just a temporary glitch, but okay. So Cape May, Cumberland, and Salem counties.
So you need to go to that slide.
Okay.
I'm not seeing the
So
right.
now I'm in the U.S. businesses database. I want to find my competition in those 3 counties with respect to local trucking. So I can go into major industry group here where there's a drill down list.
Joan, we're not seeing the right slide.
What are you seeing?
Your first slide.
Huh?
We're only
Okay.
seeing the
New
first slide.
share. Oh, I see. Okay, let's get, what about now?
No. You need to-
Hold
on
on.
the
I'll
left-hand
get it.
side, click on the slide that you want us to see. On the
Okay.
left-hand side of your screen.
There. How's that?
That's better. It's
Okay.
little, but it's okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Better. All
There you
right. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Local trucking companies. Who's my competition in those 3 counties? Okay, so I can select by county, and I select it by industry. And here's a list. All right. Now this not only gives me a list, as I said, plus detailed profiles. a basis upon which I can start looking these guys up and finding out more about them. But it also gives me data visualization capabilities. I can map them, okay, see where they are. I can chart them by number of employees or chart them by zip code, income. So this gives you a more, like I said, a bird's eye view. Where's my competition? It might help me to make decisions about locating a business, etc. So what can you do with all this data and information that you gathered through the consumer lifestyles file, through the business to business listings, through mapping, through charts, through graphs? What can you do with it? Well, I talked earlier about perhaps you wanted to send a mailing out to those knitters and crocheters. You can download those records, upload them into a spreadsheet or other form that you can then use to do a mailing. You can download the maps, the charts, the company profiles, and save them. In fact, you can, within Reference Solutions, create your own little private space. Create a password protected space that you create and save the searches that you've done if you want to redo them on a regular basis. I also want to mention that Reference USA has a learning center on there. You know, when you go in through Jersey Clicks and you see the homepage, there's Learning Center that has webinars that you know, on demand that you can listen to get more familiar with it. My suggestion is, I'm curious now, I'd almost like to have a poll that says, has this resonated with you? If it has, great, ask questions and all that. If it hasn't, I suggest you just go in and play with it and get a sense for, it's pretty user-friendly, get a sense for what's in there and how you can use it. And then I suspect that you will see that there's relevance here for you. Information is good if it's actionable. We just don't want to get information that we need to be able to figure out how to do it, what to do with it. You can estimate your market size through this information. You can locate a market geographically, as we demonstrated. As I mentioned, it can help you choose a business location. Of course, creating lead lists and identifying competitors to learn more about so that you can figure out what your competitive positioning is, should be or could be. So in summary, Reference Solutions is very flexible and powerful, not only at the tactical level with names and addresses, but at the strategic level with the ability to map location of your markets, map location of companies and competitors, etc. It complements other resources. It's not everything that you need to understand your markets and your competition, but it complements other tools and resources. And as I said, you can create from it listings, data that you can analyze and visualize, and company profiles. Here's the location again of the link, the URL for the New Jersey State Library. That is your one-stop access to Reference USA. Again, you can go through your own libraries as well, but this site applies to all of you.
Well, Joan, we have a lot of questions in the chat room, people introducing themselves and people asking questions about this. So I'd like to go through the chat room and then we have some questions in the Q&A also. So,
okay. And I'm going to, let me just stop my share.
Okay, so let me go
Okay,
back.
sorry for that techno. I have no clue why that happened, but you know.
So please, anyone that has questions for Joan in the presentation or for any of the other mentors that are on the call, we're happy to open this up for everyone. If you tell us in the chat room or in the Q&A.
Yeah.
So we have, everybody is putting their name and their business and their email addresses if they're looking to share in the chat room. So if there's other people that you're looking to see who else is on the call and other people that might be able to help you, please do it here in the chat room. Patricia, Savanta, Kathy from Providence Health, Simone from Catch the Catch the Vision Love, Modern Heirloom. I'm just trying to get down to where we have questions here.
Mhm.
Okay, so Andretta is, I'm interested in finding more information and starting a business. I look forward to the session because of the successful rate of entrepreneurs. Andretta, please reach out to myself or one of the mentors on the call, and they'll guide you through getting the free resources, getting the free mentoring, and help you figure out what you need to start a business in your area, in your particular specialty. And here's another person regarding the medical device and IVD industry. So I think one of the ladies said that they dealt with medical devices or medical industry. Well, I think, Joan, you talked about it in the presentation.
Was that a question? I'm sorry.
Nope, that wasn't a question.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I'm
All
just
right.
reading through, so I want to make sure I get to it.
Someone's
so-
asking about email addresses. I don't know. I don't want to take over. I want to go in the order that you see, you know, so
Okay, so
but I can address that question.
so there's a lady that's looking to figure out how to start her coaching business, and she gives her email. Thank you, mentors. There's another lady, Morgan, who's an owner of Norin Material, a homemade jewelry-based business. And things are new to me, so I'm here for all the tips and tricks that you can get. Please reach out to any of the mentors. Like I said, it's free advice from these ladies who have some fabulous expertise and experience in business. And here's a Diane, who's a real estate broker in Toms River. And these, some of the people that are in this call have put their information in. So if there's anyone else interested in reaching out to them also. So I'm just, somebody forgot their email. Okay.
I think people are asking about the records not having email addresses, and that is true. I'm not sure whether the person is interested in business to business or business to consumer. But the Reference USA does have some email databases, some email directories that they sell. They do not include that information with either the business to business or the business to consumer listings. And really, it's probably for the best in the sense that if you're trying to build an email list, you probably really want it to be opt-in. This is what they told us when we visited them in Omaha is that if you're trying to grow an email list, it's better to grow it organically through your website or through other ways rather than purchasing one. And then you might be sending email to people that don't really want to receive it. But they do sell email addresses. Janet, you have something to say about that?
No, I have a question for you, which is
yeah.
in the question box, but it's got.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing everything. Okay.
So someone is asking for a mastermind group. Can one of the mentors kind of respond to that? I responded saying that all of our mentors are here, are pretty mastermind.
I'm trained as a mastermind facilitator. I can send me an email offline and we can talk about that.
Right. And in order to get in touch with any of the mentors, it's their first name dot their last name at scorevolunteer.org. So that's the email for all of them. And the person who is looking for help in a business, starting a business in Puerto Rico, any of the mentors on the call have experience with that or can direct them?
Don't we have a hub, a Hispanic hub? I mean, that's not just Puerto Rico, obviously, but
I could
There
check.
is a Hispanic hub on score.org, but I believe we could check. I believe there's probably a SCORE chapter in Puerto Rico. Jane, do you know that?
Well, I was going to say we have a number of Hispanic new counselors in our chapter, and I would think first of all we can counsel in Spanish now, there may be someone among that group who has that kind of expertise. I could check if the person's interested.
So that person, please reach out to Jane with a Y, and she can probably research that information for you. Someone's asking, does this tool provide a 10K report on companies?
I believe that it has a link to the filings, but if not, that's an easy search on the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission website, because that's all public data. Anybody in here who I see people asking questions about masterminds, send me an email, and we'll talk about that.
And so there's another person looking for help in the nonprofit foundation setup, and I think Jane Meyer would be a good person to contact about that. So please reach out to her. Okay, so people are going to be reaching out and asking questions to the mentors that are on the call.
There is also a lot of information from your economic development agency in your area. They can give you a lot of information on some of these subjects as well.
And the reference tool that Joan is talking about also is a national tool. It's not just a statewide tool.
Oh,
So
yes.
it gives you information on a statewide basis, right, Joan?
Yes, and the thing is, I spent some time talking about locating your clients geographically, which is great for some businesses, but now so much business is not geographically tied, especially since the pandemic. More and more, the geographic boundaries are becoming less relevant. Yes, you can. It covers the whole U.S. and Canada.
Okay, so Annette is asking, she started an agency that focuses on providing services for adults with developmental disabilities and their families. Will this also work to find a group of people in there? Is there subgroups?
Are you, I didn't say that again?
Okay, so this woman, Annette, is starting an agency that focuses on providing services for adults with developmental disabilities and their families. Will this reference tool also help to find that group of people?
Okay, so people who have someone in their family with a disability?
So it sounds like, yes.
I do not think so. I'd have to go in and check, because when we had a question about ethnic groups a week or so ago, and I wasn't sure, and I checked and I learned something. I don't think so. I would probably, if it were me, I would go through associations.
Yeah.
Joan, I have a question that just very quickly, you had in your presentation, you talked about individual consumers list names and addresses not being listed, but when you got to the knitting and crochet, they were there.
Yes, let me clarify that.
Oh, wait, let me finish my question. I'm curious, how does this search engine get that information?
Oh, okay. The first thing you addressed in terms of, if you start using the variables that are in Consumer Snapshot, then it takes you out of the individual listings and into the charting. The Consumer Snapshot has variables like ethnicity that are considered sort of confidential, and they don't tie them to names and addresses. So if you don't use the variables in the Consumer Snapshot, you'll be getting names and address lists. Then, but that was not your real question. Your real question was, how did they get the information?
Yes, I'm just curious.
Okay, they use for the consumers or business to business? Consumer?
Well, business to business is easy because they can get a listing from the state, but I'm talking about me, an individual.
Okay, there's telephone listings, directory listings like the telephone. There's change of address filings. It's basically drawn from public sources of information that leave a trail, and they put it together and form a directory from it. Now, you're probably asking about the consumer lifestyle information, how they get
Yes.
that.
How do they know I'm a knitter or a crocheter? I mean, unless
Well, it's that's from opt-in email sources, subscriptions, and that type of thing.
wow, That's interesting.
That's the Reader's Digest answer. I probably there's probably a lot more to that I just don't remember, but it's all opt-in sources, and it could be warranty information for purchases and that type of thing.
So our purchases as consumers, just to let everybody know, is being tracked somehow by somebody.
Yeah,
Oh, always.
the what I would
Really
like,
interested. Just
yeah,
you need
I
to
mean,
know that. Yeah.
and
This is
I
before
want-
the internet.
And
Yeah.
we know that Facebook sells their information. And
Oh,
so,
that's another whole story. Yes. Yeah.
and
so we
see,
know anything that we do. In fact, even the government went to Wells Fargo recently. I don't know if anybody heard this. And Wells Fargo gave the government information of who was in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, buying anything from a store or a hotel, or had a reservation for a hotel. So don't think that, your information is confidential. Pretty much isn't anymore.
yeah, but I mean, it's not, yeah. I mean, I think Facebook can read my mind, like I do a search for something and then all of a sudden it's showing up on Facebook.
But these databases were existed even before the internet. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was, I think Axiom is the company, and probably Janet, you heard of that people could go to and buy database
Yeah.
information, and you could do, you can reference it. People bought for thousands of dollars, bought that information and would be able to create mailing lists and
Yes.
send
But
them
they
out.
can do
Because I
that with
worked in the ski industry, and they bought, databases from Axiom. So
Yes.
someone is asking, can you tell the participants how to work with the business librarians at local libraries? Because they think that they can help with your research too.
Yes. Well, I think different libraries have different capabilities with respect to business resources. I would try my local library and tell them what you need. And there's also that I would start with my local library.
There are also libraries that specialize in business. And if you go to your local library, you can find out who in your county has the strongest business libraries
Yes.
and business researchers. And
Yes.
don't forget, it's very important. I mean, it's great to do your own research, but these people are really trained, and humans can help a lot.
Yes, they're like your Sherpa. And the thing is, at the state level, there's a woman named Andrea Lewandowski, who heads a committee for New Jersey business librarians.
Yeah.
And some libraries are stronger than others. If you wind up having if you wind up working with a library that does not necessarily have as strong of a business focus, you can contact Andrea Lewandowski. Well, you could contact me, send me an email, and I'll refer you to her, because I don't know.
Better alternative.
How to spell her name, and I'm not going to remember.
Right.
I
So
heard that
somebody is asking about, does this tool also list importers or wholesalers of a particular product?
I don't know if it gets that specific. I off the top of my head, I suspect that there might be a way to get at it, but I'm not sure if this is the best way.
Okay, so someone is asking, they really don't know how to find other businesses that do the same thing. How do I find comparable data? I think reach out to Joan DeVore here
Yeah.
on our call, and she actually will probably be able to help you, walk you through going through this database and finding the information that you need. I
Yeah,
know
either me or a librarian at the public library. Someone is asking about professional associations,
Mhm.
a list of professional associations, and that will be in Reference USA. However, there's also the Encyclopedia of Associations, which is either a hard copy in the old days, or many libraries have access to it online. So that's, and there's directories that specialize in that. And depending on what you're looking for in terms of professional associations, I might have other suggestions as to, you know, depending on what you're focusing on, I might have other suggestions.
Okay, so we're gonna answer a couple more questions and then we're gonna go around the table of all the mentors. Jane with Y, did you have something you wanted to?
I also think that there are some sources that we might not think of ourselves. For example, a lot of our chapters do not actually give information. They don't have the equipment to do this to people who need bank loans, who need other things. That's just not their specialty. And we have a competitor friend in the small business development centers. And most of them, because they exist to put people together with money and the SBA loans and all of this. If we need help, most of them are really very happy to work with us. And then they give us their clients who they can't help because they don't have the skills that we do. So that's another place to look for information.
Yeah, SCORE has a lot of partnership agreements with all the other organizations and companies within the state environment. So like the next call that we have on this circle call, we're going to have 2 small business specialists that are from New Jersey EDA that will talk about loans and grants and what's available through that organization and a couple of other organizations that they're associated with. Someone here is looking for experience with lawyers who specialize in contracts, waivers, and liability insurance for the fitness profession. Is there anyone of the mentors that are on this call that might want to say that they're willing to help this person, Jill, who's on the call today? Someone who deals with contracts and waivers and liability insurance?
Identifying a lawyer at that specialty?
Just go to the New Jersey State Bar Association, I would,
Yeah.
or their county bar association.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've done something in our chapter that I would recommend for the rest. And that's because we don't have, although we have huge numbers, we don't have specialists in everything. And we have a referrals list. And these are people with specialties that some of our clients might need that we don't have, who have offered to give a half-hour free consultation to any SCORE client and no regards.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that.
I do that.
Nothing required at all. And it's very helpful when it comes to things like intellectual property and some of this other stuff. So I would suggest this.
Someone is saying it would be great if counselors drop their emails into the chat. We have our emails up by our pictures.
That's right. Thank you, Joan. So
Yeah.
let me just go into the Q&A. Are there mentors for real estate investing and funding sources to purchase properties? Oh, it's so unbelievable that you asked that, Ilda, because we actually are starting a series about funding resources for real estate and the hospitality industry. And that is a statewide chapter that's going to start on March 4th. I think it's at 10 o'clock. I'm not sure of the time, but please go to our SCORE NJ group on Facebook or LinkedIn. And we have all the statewide webinars listed. And that one is going to be on March 4th. So that's specialists in investing, real estate investing, in properties. And that's exactly what that series of webinars is going to talk about. So please, we bring to the table, SCORE goes out and gets presenters like Joan, like Janet, like myself. I actually have been giving presentations for 12 years for SCORE. And we're subject matter experts in a particular area. So the wealth of information that SCORE brings to the table through these presenters is phenomenal. Also, financial coaching and passive investments. Will this reference site provide proper guidance detailing state codes and regulations for starting a vineyard or a restaurant business?
Yes.
About the reference site, Joan.
I didn't catch that. You kind of got a little bit garbled. What was it
Will
again?
this reference site provide proper guidance detailing state codes and regulations for starting a vineyard or a restaurant business?
I don't see Reference Solutions, but as being the source for that. the New Jersey Gateway, Business Gateway should have links to regulations and such by industry. Not Reference USA, no, it's not that kind of a source. It's really based on, its roots are directory information and folding up from there. But that should be at the New Jersey, somewhere within the New Jersey Business Gateway, there's links to industry searching by and for a given industry, what licenses and regulations apply. A mentor could probably work with you on that.
And I would also say the New Jersey State Association of Restaurants would have information for that as well.
Right. So I'd like to go around the room and wrap this up. Janet, you want to start and just giving a final.
One more thing about the food thing, the vineyard thing, the Food Innovation Center from Rutgers.
What about it?
That they may be a source for that person too about the vineyards.
Okay. All
Sorry.
right. And someone is also asking about, this is the first year filing taxes. We have people who are CPAs, current and past CPAs, that can give you guidance to that. Every business should have their own accountant that will actually file the forms. SCORE will not file the forms for you, but they will give you advice. So Janet, why don't you wrap up and give some quick thoughts to the folks that were on the call today?
Well, again, thank everybody for coming. This has been a great group and lots of good information. Even as a mentor, I've learned a few things. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to participate today. One of the things I'd just like to share is that with each of the chapter's websites, it's now linked to all of the websites and webinars. But I'm going to recommend to all of our participants today that one of the really outstanding sources for SCORE on this website is Search the Library. I have been referring many clients to it, and I have learned a few things. It's just a wealth of information on that website, on that particular header in the website. So I would highly recommend everybody do that. And I look forward to meeting some of you in person someday.
Thank you. And Jane with a Y?
We have 3 very interesting workshops coming up. One of them, we must have been listening to Suzanne. And this is called New Jersey Sales and Use Taxes, What, When, and How. And this is on March 17th, Northeast New Jersey .score.org for more information and to sign up. We have another one on April 6th called No Brand, No Chance. And that's very trendy. I like it. And the third one is picking an e-commerce platform. Very, very important at this point. There's so many of them. Which one are you going to get the most use out of on March 3rd?
Thank you. And I just want to reiterate, we have 2 new groups, one on Facebook and one on LinkedIn. They're under SCORE NJ. So look at those groups, because especially that sales tax one is a statewide webinar. So we're promoting it on a statewide basis. And yes, the Northeast chapter is hosting it. And it's the folks from the New Jersey State Organization or something, authority. And they're going to be doing a series of information. So the webinars that are hosted by the individual chapters and on the state basis are fabulous tools and free webinars for everybody to come and look for. So join one of those groups, because we're going to be advertising all of the webinars. So you really don't have to go to every chapter's website. You can now go and join these groups, and they're open to everyone. So thank you, Jane. And Marcia, you want to wrap up and give a parting thought? And
yeah, so I've referred reference to several clients, and they have just found it invaluable. Excellent source. Another source is New Jersey Business and Industry Association. And if you say you were referred by SCORE, you have a discount in the membership.
yes, NJBIA. I'm a big believer in that too. They are the largest business organization in the country. And there's over 40,000 members in that group. They also, just so you know, they have a free group on LinkedIn also. You can join the group on LinkedIn and actually post questions, post information about yourself. And when I give a class and someone asked about the free half-hour evaluation, I'm one of the subject matter experts that offers that. So if someone's looking for a quick overview of their online presence, feel free to reach out to me. I give a free overview over the phone. And there are lots of subject matter experts across the state and across the country that the SCORE mentors have access to that they can refer you to. And Jane Meyer, final words from you in your chapter? Oh, you have to unmute you.
Sorry. Could I ask you to put our Facebook and LinkedIn addresses in the chat room for everybody? Because I don't know if they caught them at the beginning. And thank you all for coming. Central Jersey has 2-3 webinars that are coming up that would be of interest to you, I believe. On March 11th, we're hosting the Circle of Women Mentors. As Suzanne mentioned this earlier, but we're going to have women from the New Jersey Economic Development Association there, and they have lots and lots of resources, including grants and so forth for small businesses. So that's March 11th at 10 o'clock. And Joan DeVore, our great speaker here today, is going to do a webinar for our chapter either on March 17th or 24th. We'll know that today, but on a lean startup, how to do
Model canvas.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Business model canvas as part of the lean startup.
Model canvas.
Yes.
So it's how to do a one-page business plan, how to do a quick business plan that'll get you thinking about your business and get you started on your business plan. Is that fair to say, Joan?
Mm-hmm.
So join us for that. That'll be publicized very soon. And then on April 21, we are doing virtual tools for managing your business. A virtual assistant is going to talk about all the virtual tools that are out there that would help small businesses manage their business better, do all kinds of things virtually. So we'd look forward to seeing you at those.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for all your questions and for your feedback and your information. Thank you, Joan, for doing your presentation today about this valuable tool. Yes?
I just wanted to mention, I don't know whether you mentioned what's coming up at the Princeton chapter, but I won't go into it now, but we do have some workshops coming up, including creating a great value proposition this Saturday, but just go to princeton.score.org.
So all of the chapters, you put the chapter name,
Yeah.
Northeast, Northwest, Central Jersey, Metro NJ, .score.org, and that's how you find any of the chapters. But all of the chapters should now be posting all of their webinars on the groups, and I put the links to the groups in the chat room.
Yeah, and
So-
you can, if you're looking for New Jersey only for some reason, although you don't really need to, there is a way to search for the workshops and limit it to New Jersey if you're trying to focus on the ones that have been mentioned here.
And they're all listed on the SCORE NJ groups on LinkedIn and Facebook. So thank you everyone for joining us today. I look forward to having you back in 2 weeks on the next circle call, where I said we will have the NJEDA ladies present all about the grants and loan programs that are available through that organization. Thanks for joining us and have a wonderful day. Enjoy the sunshine.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.